course. We covered this story, didn't we? Just about happened as we came on air last night. So Jim Ratcliffe, he gave an interview. And one of the points, I do have to stress this, one of the points, it was a much broader interview, but one of the things that he was discussing was the change in the UK. And he was talking about colonisation. Take a listen.
You can't have an economy with 9 million people on benefits and huge levels of immigrants coming in. I mean, the UK is being colonised. It's costing too much money. It will cause... It'll cause... Well, the UK is being colonised by immigrants, really, isn't it?
Well, Keir Starmer, Prime Minister, he took to Twitter and said offensive and wrong. Britain is a proud, tolerant and diverse country, and Jim Ratcliffe should apologise, he said. Well, he kind of issued an apology. Let's take a look at that. Essentially, I've got to say what he said. He didn't apologise for what he said. He apologised basically for the choice of language offending some people in the UK and Europe. And he said, actually, it is important, though, to raise the issue of controlled and well-managed immigration. So first of all, at home, I want you to tell me, do you think that it was right that he apologised in that way or not? But Kelvin MacKenzie, your thoughts on all of it?
Well, the first thing I would do is, if I was Starmer, I'd apologise. I'd apologise for the fact that since July 24, when he arrived at number 10, a terrible day for us all as it's emerged, he's allowed 67,000 illegal migrants into our country. These are towns the size of Stafford, towns of Washington, Walton-on-Thames near me. These are huge numbers. These are things which worry people, and they worry. There are two other aspects which I see was used against him. One, they said, well, he's in Monaco, right? I'd love to be in Monaco. I can't think of anybody in the UK who wants to stay here and pay higher taxes, desperate for work, that everybody would be living in Monaco if we were as clever as him. In that time, he and his company have paid more tax than every single one of his critics by 1,000 miles. And then we look at the other argument, which I saw being played out today, which was that, what about the migrants who play for Manchester United? I'm a Brentford supporter, among other things. Mumbueo, France, played for the Cameroons. Cunha, Brazilian. Casido. All of these guys are migrants, and they come here fantastic. They bring a fantastic skill, right? So that should be the first thing that should demand whether they come here or not. Try getting into Australia without a skill that's demanded, by the way. Come here with a fantastic skill. They're on a contract, and at the end of it, they can decide, because of the huge amounts of money that they've made, and were very well rewarded, they can either stay here or they could go back to their homeland or go back to any land. None of that, right, is actually possible to the migrants that come to our country, I'm afraid. And look, if you live in an area, I live in basically a majority white area, these issues don't really affect you. You live in, I don't know, in parts of Birmingham, parts of East London, parts of Manchester, for instance. After all, give the credit to Ratcliffe. He came from a council house, and he turned out to be enormously bright, and he has had a really gilded life. And, we should be saluting that. He never talks about the fact he's working class. But I noticed that our Prime Minister, it's about the only thing he ever talks about. I don't think Labour fully understand what it's like when you live in one area as a local and it really changes. And especially at the moment, we're finding it under this government very tough to find work. So, there's lots of reasons to be upset, I think, with Starmer, but not with Ratcliffe talking about something that actually I think is worth a debate.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to take advantage of ExpressVPN and their best deal ever. Get a premium VPN with enhanced privacy, security and identity protection. By supporting ExpressVPN, you're supporting us here at GB News. And on premium and advanced plans, you get a dedicated zero-knowledge password manager app, and coming soon, the world's first consumer AI platform built on confidential computing. This video's sponsor, ExpressVPN, couldn't be easier to use. Just click the link, download the app, connect, and you're protected. Click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code to save up to 82% off ExpressVPN, plus 4 extra months free.
Well, there's a lot to unpick, isn't there, in all of this? To your point about him being resident in Monaco and about this issue, right, how it impacts some people in this country disproportionately, depending on the demographic makeup of where they are, right? Why then has Jim Ratcliffe decided to speak out? Why make it his issue if he is indeed based in Monaco? I have no issue if he wants to live in Monaco. I don't agree with it. But again, why weigh in on the UK economy, on the UK government, if he has so much less to say on it, right? But that's, I think, where this conversation has been lost a bit, because I think colonised, the use of the word colonised, has thrown this debate completely, into a complete frenzy. When actually, some of the comments he made, if he'd framed them differently, this government would welcome it, because I take issue with your framing of the 76,000 migrants coming here on small boats. That's not what Ratcliffe was talking about originally, is it? He's talking about the levels of immigration since the 2000s. And actually, the vast majority of those people, maybe not small boats migrants, we could disagree on that, but the vast majority of those people have contributed. And have contributed both to the club that he now owns, but also to NEOS in the past. So I think that's also where this gets people a bit annoyed, that sense of fair play. Yes, he's done well, but he's done well on the backs of lots of hard-working taxpayers and workers for his own company.
I'm grateful, by the way, that he has done well, full stop, because we have enough of the other sort, right, who haven't done well, including the 6 million, who now find themselves in a difficult world. And where I can see more problems coming with migration is if AI continues to explode in the manner in which some experts, much brighter than me, point out, right, we are going to face increasing unemployment in this country, and I can see more issues between races developing over that as people think it's unreasonable and unfair. Now, look, I am grateful for Ratcliffe in one sense. I do understand that you could have framed it in a different way, but I'm grateful that actually he's cut to the chase. After all, he's a billionaire. He's used to saying, I'm afraid we're going to have to do this. So he's not like a politician. And the other issue I would raise with you about Starmer, right, who I'm not a huge fan of, you may have got that drift.
I gathered.
You got that, is that, in fact, he talks about a proud and diverse country. We are a diverse country. I'll totally buy that. Are we proud? Are we proud of that? I'm quite proud that there aren't permanent punch-ups. I do get that. I, as a country, I don't, for some reason, over the last couple of years, it's probably about the economy, and it may well be back to 2008, and I blame the Tories as well. But right now, this last 18 months, 2 years, there is very, very little to be proud about. And I don't know why that word proud was used. I don't think you would find viewers here, but actually viewers in lots of TV stations would be actually proud of our country right now. I feel very, very upset about where we are, what the chances are for my grandchildren are, what does the country look like, right, going forward, right? We've got to get used to this. I totally agree. But the idea that we can have open borders, which is really what Ratcliffe was saying, and he was referring to France as well. Remember, he's got investments in France because he owns a football club out there, as well as living out that way. He was making a good point. And Maloney makes the point, we're sending in the Navy to stop it. Something has to stop this. We have to get on with each other. We'll get on a lot better with each other from the day we finally pull up the drawbridge, or we stop these people coming in, and then we say, you have got to get on with each other. Stop rowing.
But this is where I don't think Ratcliffe is actually up to date. Because this government, increasingly, as it's realised the scope and the scale of the immigration issue, especially under Shabana Mahmood, has got to grip or started to put measures in order to get to grip with irregular or illegal migration. I genuinely think, you know, we've been seeing reports that maybe we'll get to net zero migration and all that that entails. Do you really think that? I mean, I think he's basing this on some outdated information.
Let's be sensible here. The fact that net migration is coming down is not because of measures that the current Labour government are doing. It's because of two different things. One is essentially like the aftermath, if you like, the consequence of the changes that the Tories made. Yeah. The other one is because we have many, many Brits now leaving the country. So that is obviously bringing net migration down. That is not something to celebrate.
But as well as the tightening of asylum, of visa laws, that's why they project it's going to reach net zero migration, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's a mix of different things. And that's also, by the way, what he's talking about. He's not talking about illegal migration, as he would have said tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in the last few years.
You sound like you want to come back in.
I think that the issue is we need to control the borders. And Starmer every so often is saying, have we got a phrase? Have we got a phrase we can throw out there? I know, smash the gangs, smash the gangs. Hold on, excuse me, sir, that hasn't worked. OK, one in, one out. No, thank you, sir. No, that one hasn't worked. How about we're shutting the borders? We're going to use the Navy. We're going to take the Maloney approach. We're going to use the Navy and we're going to push back these people, and so that France can deal with it. Look, if I'm French, I'm saying I'm delighted these people are passing through, right? We've done our bit, right? And but that doesn't suit us. Somebody has to do it. I am hopeful, right? The Tories didn't do it. I totally get that. It's nothing. This is not about party politics, strangely. Tories didn't do it. Labour definitely aren't doing it. They seem to be on the other side. And I'm worried, is Farage going to do it? That's the issue.
Of course it's not, because it's not possible. I genuinely don't believe it's possible to say we're going to close the borders. If it was that simple, it would have been done. Every single one of the small boats is escorted. We know where they are, we know where they're coming.
So you're saying that you honestly believe that it is not possible for a nation to control its borders?
I think it's possible, as we do, to escort them, to know who they are, to know where they land, and then to take proper measures when they arrive. But I don't think it's possible to repulse them onto France.
Right, well...